Hello class, today we're going to talk about section 5.2, which is solving inequalities using multiplication and division. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to solve and graph the inequalities that have multiplication and division. So, just like with the last lesson, we're going to solve using SAD-MEEP. So in order to get rid of multiplication, we're going to go ahead and use division. And I get my inequality to say x is greater than 7. Once again, you're going to come down, since we are just looking at greater, that is going to be an open circle at 7. And then when I plug in my test point of 0, 0 is not greater than 7, so I am going to be moving to the right. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Solving, you should have multiplied by 4 on both sides. You get an answer of x is less than or equal to negative 8. That is a closed circle at negative 8. 0 is not less than negative 8, so your arrow is moving to the left. Sometimes we have fractions in our inequalities. In order to get rid of a fraction, we want to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to go ahead and multiply by 7/3. When I do that, my 7's cross cancel and my 3's cross cancel, so that's why we're multiplying by the reciprocal. Then we're going to want to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Using some cross reducing, I can turn that 3 into a 1 and the 21 into a 7, giving me a final answer of 49. So my inequality says x is less than 49. I'm going to have to re-number my graph. I'm going to go by 7s. You could go by anything else, though, as well. So I'm going to put that open dot at 49, and I'm going to test my point and say 0 is less than 49, which is a true statement. So my arrow is going over the 0 to the left. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Multiplying by the reciprocal here gives me 5/1. Negative 3 times 5 gives me negative 15. I numbered by 5s on the bottom, so I've got that open dot at negative 15. 0 is not less than 15, so the arrow is going to the left. Last case that we have here, so I have negative 12x is greater than 60. So I'm still going to solve by dividing by negative 12 and dividing by negative 12. And I'm going to get an answer of x is greater than or equal to negative 5. So if I was going to pick out a number that's bigger than negative 5, I would get an answer of, let's say, 0. 0 is bigger than negative 5. But what happens when I plug that 0 back in for x is I would have negative 12 times 0 is greater than or equal to 60. Solving that, I get 0 is greater than or equal to 60, which is obviously not true. So what are we going to do to fix this problem? We didn't solve incorrectly. We just have to do one more step if you are multiplying or dividing by a negative. So when you are solving inequalities, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you need to flip that inequality symbol. Again, as I just showed you, if we don't flip that symbol, we're going to end up with the wrong set of numbers for our answers. So we're flipping that inequality symbol, whatever it started with, you are just changing the direction of it. So now we have our correct answer, which is x is less than or equal to negative 5. So we're going to come to negative 5 and put our filled in circle there because we got a less than or equal to. I'm going to test, and I'm going to say that 0 is less than or equal to negative 5, which is not true. so that arrow should be going to the left. If you have questions about why exactly we are flipping that inequality symbol beyond what I've explained here, please let me know when you get to class. Go ahead and try solving this one on your own. Be careful of that negative. Multiplying by the -2 means that you are flipping your inequality symbol from greater than to less than. So you've got an answer of x is less than 6. 0 is indeed less than 6. So your arrow is moving to the left with the open circle. Word problem. Fewer than 84 students surveyed said they never have made a purchase online. This is about 1/8 of the students who were surveyed. How many students were surveyed? So our key phrases here, 1/8, 84 students, and fewer than. So we want to have 1/8 of our students surveyed, which we don't know how many of our students were surveyed, and we've got fewer than 84. So that less than symbol is our fewer than. In order to get rid of a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal, and we end up with our answer of x is less than 672 students being surveyed. Go ahead and write out this inequality and then solve it on your own. Again, careful when you are dividing by that -5, so you are flipping the inequality symbol from less than or equal to greater than or equal to, and you get a final answer of x is greater than or equal to -3.2. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please let me know when you get to class.